Rose-colored glasses. We've heard this idiom. Wearing these imaginary glasses makes everything we see through them tinted rosy. Now, rosy is a metaphor for an unrealistic worldview that sees everything is right with the world, even when it isn't. There are a couple of theories about where this expression originated. First, during the European age of exploration, all maps were hand-drawn. The amount of detail necessary was astounding. Even map makers with perfect vision wore magnifying glasses to more finely render their work when drawing coastlines. Glasses get dirty. Map makers cleaned the lens with rose petals. After many polishings, the color of the rose petals left a pink residue on the lenses, tinting the map maker's vision, making the world look a warm, rosy color. Another story suggests that the phrase wasn't referencing eyeglasses at all, but rather wine glasses. A now empty glass of red wine might still have a residue of wine on its side, and when you hold it up to the light, you see the world through the rose-colored glass of your wine glass. This might explain its association with an optimistic outlook on life. Intoxication doesn't improve the world, it just merely makes you feel better about it. Rosy glasses optimism is but one way to see the world. It's one kind of reality glasses. Now, reality glasses is a metaphor I've often used in my philosophy classes at various colleges in the area, which help my students understand that there are lots of different ways to describe how we see the world. Now, I think in some ways the world is always the same, but how you see it depends. Each person has their own individual reality glasses, their own way of making sense of the world, but in a larger context, reality glasses are a shared social, cultural inheritance. Understanding that our worldview is but one shared interpretation among many is, I think, the beginning of wisdom. Our worldview isn't the only one. Understanding what composes our reality glasses is an interesting investigation. Let's look at one historical example of reality glasses. For over 2,500 years, the shared reality glasses of our Western civilization has included two essential characteristics. Everything in and of this world was seen as partaking of four elements: earth, water, air, fire. And it also had four properties: hot, cold, wet, dry. Everything in the world was one thing or the other, or many things, or some combination of all of these things. Everything, all of reality was seen through this double fourfold lens. Here's an example. Could I have that slide of the, yeah, that's it. You can get rid of me, I'm not, all right. Hippocrates, in his book On the Nature of Man, written around 400 BCE, reveals how his reality glasses saw the human body. Quote, "The human body," oh, that looks good, thanks. "The human body contains blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Health is primarily that state in which these constituent substances are in the correct proportion to each other. Having the right amount of humor is essential for health. Disease is consequently brought on by humor excess and or deficiencies." End quote. Hippocrates is describing humors, four kinds of distinct fluids coursing through every human body. The humors were, in this unified theory, interrelated with everything else. You can see up there, we've got seasons, sun, moon, planets, signs of the zodiac. There's ages of human beings, growing up and such. Everything was seen through these reality glasses. Everything was hot, cold, wet, dry, earth, water, air, fire. In this worldview, the humors were how physicians and priests described and diagnosed both physical and emotional health and disease. Good health and mental well-being depended on each humor being in a balanced proportion to all and each of the other humors. Physicians like Hippocrates would treat the imbalance, just as we might today. He would prescribe diet, exercise, medicine, and also recommending social activities. One major difference is the practice of bleeding, voiding some blood so that the body could restore its healthy balance of humors as it produced replacement blood. Humorism began to fade in the 17th century and was scientifically disproved with the discovery of the microbe only in the 20th century. While humors are no longer obvious in our reality glasses, there remain humoral echoes in our descriptions of our moods. See if these sound familiar. Hot-blooded, cold-hearted, seeing red, blood runs cold, makes your blood boil, lose your cool, high spirits, all humoral. Psychological expressions today echoing humoral excesses or deficiencies include, his mind is off balance, or she was unbalanced. Fictional characters are often humoral archetypes. The optimistic, outgoing youth, sanguine. The hot-headed rival, choleric. The moody, brooding anti-hero, melancholic. The calm, rational, phlegmatic. Sounds like a description of the bridge personnel of the Starship Enterprise. Or the upstairs, downstairs denizens of Downton Abbey. Today we think of the human body differently. Cellularly, chemically, glands have replaced humors. Though a description of how glands operate doesn't sound very different than Hippocrates' description of humors. Glands are cells that produce and release chemicals into the bloodstream, influencing our physical and mental health. One of these newly discovered newly discovered biochemicals coursing through our body is dopamine, a neurotransmitter in the brain playing a role in motivation, attention, pleasure, and reward. Dopamine is essential for coordinated movement. It helps regulate muscle control and influences balance and posture. Dopamine contributes to regulating sleep-wake cycles, stress response, and digestive processes. It influences emotional responses and moods, contributing to feelings of well-being. It can affect blood flow and hormones. If this 21st century description sounds humoral, it might be because these descriptions share a common vocabulary with that ancient worldview. Let's blend the humoral reality glasses with the scientific. When dopamine levels are deficient, you're melancholic. If excessive, sanguine, being in a good humor. Levels of dopamine, up and down, we use the word temperamental. The word temperament, from the Latin temperamentum, no stretch there, is it? Refers to the proper balance of the four humors. Temperament, balancing the four humors. When you're temperamental, unbalanced humors. Inherent in the humoral reality glasses is that the natural, healthy state of a human body is balance. Each humor flowing through the body in a proportionate equilibrium with all the others. This is a definition and condition of health. Today, how we think about the quality of that healthy balance is different, but the metaphor of balance is still there. It hasn't faded. Ancient humoral and modern scientific reality glasses both share the metaphor of balance. For thousands of years, the metaphor of balance has been an essential idea in the reality glasses of virtually every culture in the world. Because balance is a universal, embodied human experience. Human beings experience balance everywhere. and then it enters into our vocabulary and also into our worldview. Our reality glasses have balance in them. Everyone describes standing firmly and walking straight as balanced. From the Chinese Tao to Navajo spirituality to European humors. Here's a timely example of the idea of balance in our reality glasses. In order to survive, humans had to know when to hunt and when to gather. Early humans' best timekeeper of knowing when to do what was the movement of the sun. Our ancestors observed that twice a year, the length of the day and night were equal. We call them equinoxes. Think of a figure eight. The solstices, top and bottom, most light, least amount of light, and in the eight, they cross when the two times of year, the light and the dark are equal, equinoxes. Twice a year, days are balanced, light and dark. Humans everywhere and throughout time have experienced this regularly recurring events. And from this experience of equal length of day and night, the concept of balance becomes part of our reality glasses. Our word balance comes from the Latin, a word meaning two scales. The earliest appearance of scales applied to the idea of justice comes from ancient Egypt, where the goddess Ma'at personified the concepts of balance, morality, and justice. She also ordered the stars and seasons. In Greek mythology, two deities, Themis, the goddess of justice, divine order, and law, and Dike, goddess of justice, moral order, and fair judgment. The Roman Emperor Augustus introduced a combined into one version of Themis and Dike. He named her Justitia, and she holds scales of justice like Ma'at. The image of balanced scales is still the principle of justice in our contemporary reality glasses. She's also a statue that stands in courthouses all throughout the Western civilization. In the humoral worldview, balance in the human body is health. Their reality glasses saw that the health of society as justice and the balance of the humors in the body as good health. Even as reality glasses with humors has faded, contemporary medical treatments still use the metaphor of balance. Thank goodness we're not bleeding people, although I hear that leechcraft is making a comeback. No, thank you. Here, Alan, I got one just for you. When today's physician prescribes an antibiotic to fight infection, she is trying to put her patient's body back into microbiological balance. A recent scientific paper showed evidence that when the subject feels safe and supported, their nervous system was described as balanced. Another psychology website linked dopamine to mood disorders and addiction when its levels are, in this scientific article, imbalanced. Like the humors, too little dopamine is as unhealthy as too much. A new form of addictive behavior is from the social media practice of endless scrolling until a specific kind of post provides a little dopamine hit. Look at the cute kitten. Puppies are so adorable. We don't bleed out the bad humors anymore, but it's been suggested that prescribing replacing social media with other activities reestablishes dopamine balance. Lyricist Shanbo in the song, I don't know this song, doing research, I ran into this. Lyricist Shanbo in the song, Hate You, pairs rosy glasses with another color idiom, red warning flags, singing, here's the lyrics, you can't see red flags through rose-colored glasses. Brilliant, isn't it? Wanda the Owl in the animated program BoJack Horseman says, You know, it's funny. When you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. While not an official diagnosis, rose-colored glasses syndrome describes someone so excited about possibilities that they overlook the hazards. Ignoring red flag warnings can be dangerous. Evolutionarily, this makes sense. Feeling fear or anxiety might be caused by a threat in the environment, in which case it is wise to concentrate on that threat and ignoring all the peripheral details, the non-threat details. When the world is seen in a hopeful light, cognitive awareness widens to take in more of the world around you. Science has evidence that a positive outlook can help us appreciate more of the world. A University of Toronto study published in the Journal of Neuroscience showed that our moods change how our visual cortex operates. Moods and visual cortex. Moods influence how we see. Researchers found that subjects with a positive mindset take in more visual information. Negative moods limit perception. As someone once said, I have an inferiority complex, but it's not a very good one. A balanced worldview includes rosy reality glasses that balance realism with an optimistic and hopeful outlook. The deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy are tragic, but the response of thousands of people on the streets in dozens of U.S. cities is a source of hope. The Reverend Megan Gage Finn at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Minneapolis said that while the ringing of the church bells was a familiar sound to her, their music on Saturday, this was in today's paper talking about yesterday, their music, bell music on Saturday meant something different. Quote, I hear them all day long. They ring throughout the day, throughout the week. But to hear them ringing out in solidarity and in response to what this community is experiencing, I heard them in a new way, end quote. We no longer bleed out the bad humors, nor can we change the world merely by wearing rosy glasses. But it appears that there are good health-related reasons for adopting a rosier outlook. While talking about humors has faded, still present in our reality glasses is the idea of a natural balance being healthy. There's nothing that says we cannot also have rosier glasses with our realistic worldview. We can be optimistic and hopeful and realistic. Hopefully, looking for the good might result in finding the good. The National Football League is working with ticket sales companies to give 10 blind and low vision fans a one-of-a-kind chance to experience the Super Bowl. An American financier has promised to give $200,000 to each U.S. Olympic and Paralympic athlete to improve financial security after their athletic careers. A New York police officer helped a widow experiencing homelessness to move into an affordable home after finding her sleeping on her late husband's grave. Young volunteers in Washington, D.C., called Snow Team Heroes, help clear ice from outside senior citizens' homes. There are hundreds of stories like this that happen every day. Not kittens, not puppies. The good is out there, we just have to find it. It's good out there, and it's good in here. These stories happen every day. Reading them is not sticking our head in the sand, but rather is a healthy practice that balances the injustices of bad blood that is also a reality in our world with a hopeful outlook that expands our world, taking in more. Looking for the good, we will find the good. We are not alone. There are millions of other people who value justice just like we do. We are not hopeless. There is good in the world and reason for hope. So be of good humor and remember, the reason lions won't eat comedians is because they taste funny.